The man we call Lateef Jakande. Those that know him very well call him Baba Kekere. Alhaji, rather, Lateef Kayode Jakande was the first executive governor of Lagos State. And because of the kind of work, or let me say the great works he did in, I think, 4 years and a half, because he didn't even get to the second term, he did a lot of work and the legacy still stands today. So to honor such a man that has done a lot of great things in Lagos State was why part of the reason why the academy was created. And it was created by our very own governor, Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, who sees young people as assets for today and for tomorrow. And he's the kind of person that will say that the leaders of tomorrow should start actually working today. If you want them to be leaders tomorrow, you should start training them today. So the purpose of this webinar basically is to, how do I put it? Put people through. When I say people, new applicants, you want to come. I'm sure a lot of you already follow the fellowships page. You see what is being done there. You see the activity. You want to know what Fireside Chat is, Brown Bag series is. So we thought amongst ourselves, we the alumni, we've had 3 cohorts now, that why not actually put people through so that they can have a strong application. And we are putting people through because we want the same quality of people that have been passing out of this fellowship to, we just want to maintain quality. And we thought to ourselves, what is the best way for us to do this? And the best way we could think of was to bring on board the alumni. So when I say alumni, we have the first cohort, we have the second cohort, and we have the current fellows. Because I think every year, application processes gets to, have a little bit of changes. During our time, we had an interview with the governor. We didn't have an essay. During the second cohort, they had to write an essay. So we want to bring all of these experiences together to show you guys and say, this is how it is done. And at the end of the day, we want to hold your hands all through your application process. We are not promising you will get in, but we are promising that you are going to get a strong application if you go through all of the things that's been listed out. So I'm going to yield the mic back to our moderator, who is going to be calling on all our speakers. And I just want to welcome you guys on board, and I hope you stay tuned. I hope you have your pen and your papers. If you have applied, don't worry. All we want to say is about what you've applied for and what you're going to be doing. If you have not applied, you are going to get everything you're going to be needing. So thank you so much and stay tuned.
Thank you very much, my president. Thank you very much, our president. Thank you very much for the insights. I believe we are all following. I believe we are all getting those nuggets that we are going to be using as we are going to be applying for the fellowship. So on that note, I would like to invite our speakers, the panelists for today, the people who are going to be sharing insights from the experience in the academy, the experience applying, their experience pre the academy and into the academy. So first on that list is Miss Evelyn Ayanshola. Let me read about Miss Evelyn Ayanshola is a technical assistant to the special advisor on technology and broadband to Lagos State Governor, where she serves as a critical bridge between engineering teams and government stakeholders, coordinating the delivery of AI and IoT-driven digital infrastructure projects. She's also actively managing the rollout of Promelon, a digital work management tool developed to enhance efficiency, coordination, and accountability across government operations. The background in operations, data analysis, and product management. Evelyn is passionate about leveraging technology to drive innovation and impact in the public sector. Miss Evelyn is an alumnus of the Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy Fellowship 2024-2025 under this academic session, where she gained hands-on experience across key government institutions and contributed to initiatives focused on governance and service transformation. Please, where are my fire emojis, please? Look forward to that. The next speaker Miss Evelyn, I see you. Thank you. Is my
Thank
friend.
you for having me.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Mr. Michael Chiagozim Agu. He's a civil engineer and Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy alumnus. He specialized in large-scale infrastructure, refinery construction, and foundation systems. He's a safety-focused leader backed by NEBOSH in the UK and known for high-precision engineering solutions. Please give Mr. Michael a round of applause as well. And the fire emojis. Thank you very much. The third speaker today is Ramon Said Afolabi. He's a member of the current court. He's a fellow. He's not an alumni there, an alumnus yet. So he's a social development professional and public health researcher whose work bridges youth development, governance, and health policy. He represents Lagos East at the Nigerian Youth Parliament, where he champions inclusive policy making and meaningful youth participation. Said has contributed to high-level strategy efforts, such as the Nigeria We Want report and the Healthcare Workforce Migration Policy Review. With nearly a decade of experience in the social impact space, he has become a sought-after speaker, featuring on over 30 high-level panels and addressing audiences of more than 2 million across Nigeria. Those fire emojis, where are they, please? His commitment to scientific advancements is reflected in his publications in reputable health journals. Round of applause and fire emojis, please. The fourth speaker is Mr. Toby Adekoya. He is a member of the first court. He is a development and public sector professional with an impressive track record of designing and implementing high-impact multi-sectoral reforms. As a fellow of the inaugural cohort of the Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy, he was appointed as the Senior Special Assistant Administration to Mr. Governor in the Office of the Head of Service in recognition of his excellence in policy design and implementation, innovation, and institutional strengthening. In this role, he has built a strong reputation for translating bold ideas into practical, measurable outcomes. With a background in medicine and surgery, economics and strategy, Toby brings a uniquely interdisciplinary lens to leadership and problem solving. He's passionate about governance and systems improvement. He's also regarded as a forward-thinking professional committed to building more responsive and effective institutions and a more prosperous future. So we see that this is start. Please give me those fire emojis in the chat box and everywhere you can put those fire emojis. Thank you very much. So on that note, I will kickstart the panel session. Give me a moment. All right. So the modality is this. I'll ask, there are different teams. There are teams around first, understanding Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy and leadership philosophy. Another one is the computer-based test. Another one is the essay. Another one is the interview stage. Another one is the video documentary stage. So we are asking these our panelists or speakers different questions around these themes. So we are getting started with understanding the Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy. So my first question goes to Toby Adekoya from a member of the first cohort. What does Lateef Jakande Leadership mean in practice within the LGLA? You have the floor, sir. Mr. Toby. Okay. While we wait for him to, he's currently here, but he's muted. Sir, you're muted right now. If you are speaking currently. Okay, I don't think he's. So, like I said earlier, understanding LGLA and leadership philosophy. So I'll take my first question back to Michael Agu. Sir, how is this leadership philosophy reflected in the fellowship experience? You have the floor, sir.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much,
Good evening.
for a good opening. So, the Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy. Excuse me. I feel like the academy, leadership philosophy in the academy is embodied all around. I mean, you can start from even the team members that make up the academy, starting with the executive secretary to all the members that actually driving the experience. Within the LGLA, it's not just something leadership. The leadership philosophy is not just something you learn. It's something that whether you like it or not, you are forced to practice it. It is incorporated in you. So the fellowship is designed in a way that it puts you inside the system very quickly. So you're not just observing from outside, you are actually working within the system. And to personalize it for me, across my various postings during the time of my fellowship, I saw that leadership meant taking initiative when there is no formal authority. So sometimes you can be posted to MDAs and posted to MDAs that you don't have even the slightest clue about. For instance, you could see doctors being posted to Ministry of Agriculture, you could see engineers being posted to local government, and so. But the idea is, when you get there, you should actually take the initiative of first of all, you're going to encounter some challenges when you get there. There are people that have worked there for years, and maybe probably you are just coming in and you're working closely with the honorable commissioner or the SC. And mind you, this is something that takes years to achieve. So you have to take the initiative. You have to have a mindset, to solve problems. And of course, working with civil servants, different work ethics, different idiosyncrasies from different walks of life. You need to understand constraints of bureaucracy, the funding, and importantly, stakeholder interest. So the philosophy actually shows up for me in three ways or three key areas. I'll call it exposure, I'll say responsibility, then there's accountability as well. So you are exposed to real government operations, you are given responsibilities, sometimes within your experience and oftentimes beyond your experience level. So you actually have to take the initiative, look for ways to improvise. You are basically going to have to learn new things or relearn or probably modify any previous mindset you have. So it's more like a mindset shift. And importantly, you are held accountable for the outcome. So it's not just really about the effort. So by the end of the fellowship, you begin to see that leadership actually stops being a theory. It stops being something you maybe quotes that you cram or maybe things that people say. It actually now becomes how you think. It is embedded in how you think, how you act, and how you take ownership of complex environments. That is the idea.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michael. We can see from the insight you shared that it's not theoretical, it's hands-on. You are part of it, you are embedded into the system, and you take the lessons from there, and you can actually scale it from there over time. So, Miss Evelyn, you currently work as a public servant in the Lagos State system. So, it's actually very good that this question is actually going to you. How does LGLA shape fellows into public sector leaders? You've been a fellow, now you're a public servant. How has the academy shaped you into what you are currently doing?
Okay, good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, so how does LGLA shape fellows into public sector leaders? So I would say, I'll start. Okay, can you see me? Sorry, my video stopped there. Okay, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes,
All
we
right.
can.
All right. So I'll start by saying that before LGLA, I was good at my job. Like I understood my career. I understood what my place was as a person. But after LGLA, I understood the system my job was supposed to serve. So I understood the place of my career in the system. So that is what LGLA does. Like LGLA helps you understand that okay, you are not just an isolated entity. You are in a system. So you are able to know that, okay, there is a place for my profession, there's a place for my skill in this system, and this is how I can help better the whole ecosystem. So when we're talking about the structure that LGLA had already laid down, there are 4 pillars. the leadership seminars and curriculum, the MDA posting, which is Ministry, Department, and Agencies, the community project, and all. So it is not just a training, it is a transformation. So through all these pillars, you are transformed into understanding the system. Don't forget, my answer is already given. How LGL Shape Fellows is that it makes you come out of your, this is my job and this is the profession that I do, and come into, this is how this profession helps the system. This is how this profession makes the system better. Do you understand? So in theory, in practice, so taking away just what you know in theory, you experience it practically. So you are not, I see many people, a number of people actually have reached out to me and be like, this training, what is it about? And I'm like, number one, it is not a training. It is not, it's not just somewhere that you come into the class and then you go. It is not a training. It's actually an experience, it's a transformation. So you are shadowing cabinet members, you are sitting in rooms where actual decisions are made. It is all through those things that you understand where your place is in the system and how you can actually add value to the system. And then your mindset is shifting day by day. So you are not thinking for yourself. You are not thinking, how will I get the next salary? Of course, you want to eat, but you're not thinking about that. You are thinking about, how will this thing that I'm doing, whether you are a lawyer, you're a medical doctor, you are a product manager, anything, you are thinking, how will this thing that I do, how would it help the state, how would it help the country, how do policies move? You know, I've been in the technology sector and I'm still in the technology industry, so to speak, but I'm not just about, okay, I have a solution, I have a product and I'm sitting on it. Now I understand, okay, what are the stakeholders involved, even when things like this are being done? What does implementation look like? What does execution look like? So it is these things that you come to understand when you are in a place like LGU. And then most especially the peer cohort effect, like when you are with like 29 other people, apart from the alumni fellowship, that are also mission driven, that they are like minds. You are inspired to do better. You are inspired not to just sit down on your skill and just fend for yourself. You want to like grow beyond what your solo career can do. Yeah. So I think I've answered that question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. I like how the conversation is evolving. Michael shared insights on, it's not theoretical, it's hands-on. You're part of the system. Evelyn advanced the conversation, and now you're not part of the system. You are now able to scale up whatever you are doing, personally and as a community or wherever you are. So Mr. Toby is back up. Sir, thank you very much for joining back in. So my question to you, sir, what does Lateef Jakande leadership mean in practice within Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. All right. I believe everyone can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So, good evening, Madam Chairman, Madam Chairperson, good evening, moderator, and everyone on the platform. It's a great privilege to be joining you this evening. So, to the question, so I think the Lateef Jakande leadership model just speaks to how Baba Kekere, as is fondly called, was able to lead and deliver within the 4 years that he had in government. Some of the very key things he was known for was his simplicity, his people-oriented and impactful leadership. I'm sure we would have heard of, Jakande schools, Jakande homes, and all of that. So that model is, LGLE decided to adopt that model as a working approach for what public and private sector, leadership should be. And that's clearly reflected in the core values of the Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy. So it's very understand that we understand this model. Like they say, before you join a company, before you join an institution, you need to understand the model and key into the model and the values of the institution so that you then know how to blend in and, of course, how to deliver on the mandates of the academy. So I think another thing that is worthy of note here is that model, so the Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy model enables fellows to think and analyze from fireside, MD posting, and other activities. There's one key question that should always resonate with you, which is how can my actions impact the common man? How can my actions impact citizens of Lagos and Nigeria at large? So I think in closing, I would summarize by saying it's not a performative model of leadership, but a practical model of leadership that we can adopt in our day-to-day lives, regardless of the fact that we're in the public sector or not. So I think yeah, I'll just stop there. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the nugget on the life of Lateef Jakande and how his life translates to the academy itself. So next up, I'll be talking about the computer-based tests. I believe you're already getting to where we want us to get to. Are we guys? If you are still in the house, give me those fire emojis, please. Let me know you are still alive and active. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So on that note, I would like to call on Miss Evelyn once again to tell us what should applicants expect in the CBT stage. You can just make it maybe 1 to 2 minutes. Let's see something. Just let us just drop those insights. Let's see if it resonates to what they're looking for. Maybe they want to explore.
There's no expo. So the computer-based test is the first stage, or I would say second stage. The first stage is you applying basically. So you have to apply first before you worry about the CBT. And then the CBT is just to, not just, well, is to test, logical thinking, general knowledge, basic aptitude, reasoning skills. I believe situational judgment questions are included, testing how you think and not just about what you know. And don't say because it's a CBT. Some people are very good with CBT, they know how to like pick questions, even though they are not familiar with the topic, but they know how to pick answers. But then take it seriously. It's a real filter because thousands of exceptional people would be applying, and the range is actually wide. So it is open to every Nigerian between 25 to 35. So the range is wide, so you need to know that it's not just a formality. It is a filter to actually know who are able to move to the next stage of the fellowship, of the application. So brush up on your current affairs, especially Lagos and Nigeria governance topics. I remember during my time, there was a question that came up, just one anyway, so I don't know, that came up on the, so there was a match that ended not long before that time. It involved Nigeria, Egypt, something. I've forgotten. I'm not such of a football watcher, but I watched it and I was able to get the question right. And I was happy with myself that, okay, I knew this. So don't estimate like situational judgment. Read your questions carefully and know your strengths. So if you are good computational wise, maybe you do if it is not like you have to do a section before a section. So maybe you do the ones that you are very good at first so that your time will not run out. Because if your time runs out, you are finished, basically. So like I'm seeing what situation now, learn how to understand the situation. So even if you don't know like the backstory or you don't have a context to it, just be able to read the instruction and understand the scenario so that you can be able to answer. Most of those answers or those questions, you just need to be quick on your feet to, understand what is being asked. And that's it. And yeah, I think you will do great from that. Thank you.
You do great. I'm rooting for you guys. Your logical questions, your you mentioned things around current affairs and the likes. So just conversing about Lagos, what's the motto of Lagos? Who is the governor of Lagos? I'm not saying who's the governor of Lagos come out to, we all know that one. But different things around Lagos, different things around logical reasoning, quantitative, verbal listening, reasoning too, and a whole lot. So just praise up. Like Evelyn also mentioned, situational awareness. Be curious, learn things around you and the likes. And also, I can see some questions in the chat box, and I like the fact that my colleagues are also, providing answers to the questions in the chat box. So I think we are gaining momentum. So next up, I would like Mr. Toby. You have 2 minutes or thereabouts. How should candidates prepare effectively for the TBT? Evan has told us what should come out. So how do they prepare for these things? Mr. Toby, you are still muted.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, your bandwidth is low. Okay. You're breaking. You're breaking. You can turn off your video for when you answer the question. Maybe it will work. Okay. Mr. Toby, let's come back to you. Let's come back to you. Let's come back to you. You're still breaking. Let's come back to you. Thank you very much, Mr. Toby. Just hold it and we'll come back to you. So, Mr. Michael, I hope you're still right there. So, what mistakes should applicants avoid during the CBT? In 2 minutes or thereabouts, just let us know.
Okay, thank you very much, alright. So I remember during when I wrote my own CDP when I was applying for the fellowship. Incidentally, it turned out that there were, there were two options: either you come physically or you apply virtually. You write the CDP, you know, remotely from your house. And I tried to do remotely. The software they used for the CDP at some point it didn't work on my system. I encountered some challenges on my system. I had to get another system to try, and it didn't work. And fortunately for me, it was one abandoned system that was relegated. I just dusted off and I opened the system and it worked. So the point I'm trying to make is, first of all, you need to check if there's any room for writing remotely. You actually need to check, and even if you're writing it physically, you need to check that everything is working optimally before you even commence, so that you will not be disqualified by minor errors. And for me, I think one of the biggest mistakes applicants make, is underestimating the CBT. A lot of people just assume it's a basic test, but it's actually designed to test how you think under pressure. So, another common mistake is, poor time management. So I believe that if you're on a question for about 30 seconds to 45 seconds into 1 minute and you are not seeing a headway, I feel like we should skip to the next question, because people get stuck on one question and lose valuable time. One of the preparation I made during that period was to practice, HTTP questions, HTTP past questions, and the SHL past questions. These are like common, they are common past questions that you use for most CBT exams. So people assume that because it's a leadership academy, there won't be questions on critical thinking and maybe probably calculations and every other thing. So one should actually prepare well enough to have that confidence. So even while having the confidence, let us we should be careful of not being overconfident, especially for candidates who think they are high achievers. Obviously, for you to be applying for this academy, you are sure of yourself that you're a high achiever. Do not be overconfident to think that okay, whatever comes, you can actually take a chase. Leave no stone unturned. Practice, practice as much as possible. And some candidates actually focus only on technical knowledge and ignore critical thinking. So the test is not just about what you know, it's actually about how fast and how well you can apply it. So um, proper time management is very important. And finally, people actually don't practice, just like I mentioned, people actually don't practice in a timed environment. So there's one thing to practice some of these past questions that I've listed. In our own time, it says HCP past questions I practice and some official past questions. But I don't know what the format is for this particular stage. But regardless of what it is, you can still do that practice, but still practice in the kind of environment. You need to simulate pressure before the actual test. So if you treat the CBT seriously and prepare strategically, you already put yourself, ahead of a large percentage of applicants.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. I believe we got most of those nuggets. You mentioned things like proper time management for people that I can see people mentioning in the chat box that they couldn't hear as much because of low volume. But mention things like proper time management. It's not about just what you know, but how fast you can put down what you know. Also, you mentioned your PC, whatever tool you're using, you should ensure you've tested it days prior, test it minutes prior to when you want to get into it to avoid a case of village people coming on that day to, show their true color. So, Mr. Toby, you're back up. Thank you very much. So, sir, what should applicants expect in the CBT stage? Can you share this
Okay.
expo for us? Thank you.
Okay, so I think Evelyn and Michael has done good justice to it, but I'll just add that one, like Michael said, where some people you would have the option to choose between writing it remotely and going to the exam center. For those that are going to write it remotely, you should note that it's going to be proctored. So what the proctored exam means that you are going to have a camera. They are going to be looking at you and studying your eye movements to be sure that you are not speaking with someone at the back or you are not using any form of assisted approach, right? Another very important thing that you should all note is that CBT is not just a test of your intelligence, right? They're also looking at how you can manage situations under pressure. So a very good approach is like during my own time, I was able to finish all, right? What is very important is once you see a question and you're not able to answer it within 5 seconds, I think you just skip. You would have the option, you would have like two arrows where you can go back, you can move forward, you can move backward, right? So first off is you should just, questions you are very sure of, answer it and just move to the next. Then when you get to the end, you can then come back, to spend your times on the ones you are not very sure about, right? So it's very important. Time management is extremely important. Again, for materials, I know there is HCP as a bank. I know they have materials, that you can easily get. You can also use GRE and GMAT materials. Some people also use AI in simulating aptitude test questions, and I think a couple of them came out. So there's no one size fits all because I remember I think there was a set that they said they didn't set enough of they didn't set a good number of questions from the HCP material. So it's good that you don't depend on one material, right? But most importantly is knowing how to manage your time. I think lastly, again, personally, I know that for CBT exams, last minute preparations many times don't, yield any results. So it's also important that candidates, the morning before the exam, you also rest very well so that, you are not under any form of pressure or brain block when you get to the exam hall. So that's all from me for now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toby. While you are speaking, I noticed Mr. Said is also in the house. Mr. Said is our fourth speaker. Mr. Said, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. So, don't go back now. I want to ask you your first question. What insights can you share based on your recent CBT experience? Many people have shared, the three speakers have shared, thoughts on the CBT, but you are still freshly from that experience. What insight can you share for people who are going to be coming after you on your CBT experience? You have the floor, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry, give me a minute.
Okay.
All right, yes, thank you very much. So, good afternoon, everyone. Oh, it's good evening.
Good afternoon.
All right, it's nice to be here, and I would say congratulations to those that are, even applying first. I mean, it takes a courage to even think that you stand a chance and you are going to take that chance. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. There are people who would also know about this program and say, "Oh, I don't think I'm qualified." That you count yourself that you are qualified. Congratulations. So straight to, the CBT. For me, the CBT is basically you preparing. It's just a test of your knowledge within a short period of time. There's a quantitative part of there's the verbal reasoning. There's a current affairs, basically, like all speakers have said about knowing about Lagos, basically. But I would like to say something about my own particular experience. So this was my second attempt to LGLA, and I got in. The first time where I'd apply, um, I didn't get past through the assessment stage. And that was because for me, the quantitative reasoning was not really much of my thing. So I didn't even know what the assessment was going to look like. And at the time, so I was writing my master's exam. So I had like two exams in between. So it was a very busy day. Then while I was doing it, network went off and all of that. So coupled with all of that, my score was low. But I would like to say that the next time I was taking the assessment, because I already kind of knew what my weakness was, which was maybe the quantitative reasoning part. I'm not very good with mathematics or solving calculations basically. So I took my time because I already know this is my weakness. So I took my time to practice a lot of questions. So on the day of my assessment, then it was easier to even like get familiarized, with some questions. There's some questions that I really do not like them. The first time I wrote the assessment, I feel like, what was this one? Maybe it was some kind of probability question. There are four blue ball, red three, red ball. For who is carrying ball? Please leave me alone. So but then because of that experience before, I was able to then practice a lot of questions. So I would say that even if people are very confident in their capacity and ability to answer some of these questions, it is very, very important that they take their time to practice a lot of questions, because that would also save them time. So by practicing a lot of questions before the exam date, it can save you time, because when you see a question, you're already familiar because you've solved something similar. You probably do not even need a calculator. I remember vividly that when I went for the CBT exam, I didn't do it at all. I didn't have to calculate. I didn't have to start, calculating, because some of the questions I'd solved, something similar. So I could quickly, have a click. Oh yes, this was it. Okay, this, and that. And it was, really nice for me. So I feel like, yes, practicing questions, before the day would really help.
All right, thank you very, very much, Mr. Saeed. Practice, practice, practice. You see that it's not like there's one saying that now who give up, now him mess up. So just try to put in your best foot forward and ensure that you get in. I want you to also be an alumnus like me. So on that note, we're rounding off the CBT question segment. So next up is the essay stage. I also like to call back Saeed. Saeed, can you just share insights on the essay? You can just be, you are just the only speaker there. Maybe you just talk about 2-3 minutes on the essay part. Let our new prospective fellows get to see what we are currently experiencing. Thank you.
Hear me?
Nara, can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All
I can hear you
right.
now.
All right, thank you very much. So for the essay, I would just say that the essay simply is also to test your intelligence and your thought process, how you coordinate your thought. And for me, it was just, I had something asking me about economy in Nigeria and all. And for me, it was just gathering my thoughts. Since between the time I got the question and the day of submission, I submitted I think around after 10. And that was not because I didn't know what to write. That was because I had to make sure that I had the best thoughts. I had to structure it. Also, in fact, I had to do some readings of, okay, if I'm to answer something like this, okay, let me see what some expert have said about something like this. Got insight. And that was to make sure that I have my ingenuity. So I have my ingenuity thought. So that also, because the criteria of the essay requires that you do not use AI, you also ensure that you do not do plagiarism. So I needed to also, apart from my own thought and my own opinion, I needed to also read more on something to be able to form a good perspective and have my own opinion, which I then guided down as my essay. Good coordination, and also I would just say basically in all stages of the application, there's one thing every applicant must make sure to achieve. That's a spirit of excellence. You must make sure that you bring your best foot forward, because you can only control what you give us. You don't even know what other applicants are also putting out there, and that is what you are competing against. So I'll just say, give the best you can. Give your best, and the rest. Don't leave the rest. So give your best and also do the rest. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you very, very much. You really spoke well on the essay. Give your best shots. So next up is the leadership evaluation of called the LEH. It's pretty much the interview stage. During our own time, we did not do the interview stage. However, Mr. Toby's sets and Said's sets, they also had the LEH segment. So now I'll ask Mr. Toby before I come to Mr. Said as well. What types of questions should applicants expect for the interview stage?
Okay, so for the interview stage, right, one thing you should note is that a lot of the questions are, case scenario based. And what that interview stage is trying to judge is trying to assess your previous behavior. It's trying to know about your previous behavior and using that to assess what your future approach to a situation might be. So let me explain. So a couple of questions like, give me an example of how you handle deadlines in maybe previous projects or workplace that you worked. So something like that. So they want to see how you were able to manage, some of these things, and then use that to assess how well you'll be able to use those traits to, tackle a future situation. I think another thing that people should know is that we are not looking for very perfect answers. You know, people come to the interview with, they go online, check you know, try to come and dress, situations. We are not looking for very perfect answers. We are just looking for
All right. Thank you, Mr. Toby. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, yes. Yeah, I get that. His network seems to, but I'll just do a recap from what I was able to get. All right. Mr. Toby mentioned that during the interview stage, we do not need a perfect answer. That's one. Also, you need to put your best foot forward. You should do how did he say it? He said you should put your best foot forward. We're not expecting the best answer. Try to okay, yes, the evaluation of is critical. So try to do your research. They provide case study. There's a case study that we provided for you to situate yourself in that case study. How will you respond to this case study when they provide this case study? They want to learn about your previous behavior, how you're going to answer this question, how are you going to go about it. So it's not something that they need a perfect answer. Now you presented this case study. How best will you respond to this? Or based from your experience, how will you approach this? So it's pretty much a practical experience. So you just come forward, put your best foot forward. Don't need to be perfect. Just let us know how you are going to go about this. That's like the summary of what Mr. Toby mentioned from what I could deduce from what he said. Mr. Said, I believe you're still there. I want you to also let us know how was the CBT experience back? No, not the CBT experience, the LEH experience back then? I'm coming. I'm trying to get the question. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, all right. So I got it. So what distinguishes top performing candidates at this stage? What makes you different from the person that did not get in?
Oh, okay, so I really can't say. I only know the effort I put in and maybe some of the effort of my colleagues here. So first, I would say for me, I mean, my own perspective is that going to LEH is just like you showing up on your first date with a woman you're trying to woo. So it means that first thing first, your appearance matters. You must come correct. It is not that they just want to dress shabbily. Of course, the email would even ask that you dress corporate, yeah. But you would still find that at that day, you will find people that are there too for the same reason. And you want to ask that, are you sure we are here for the same reason? Because sometimes some people are a bit nonchalant that, oh, it's not about their appearance. That some people even have perspective that, oh, if they dress too much, they will not pick them. I don't think so because the academy is highly competitive and it's seeking to see reputable young leaders who are also interested in leadership. So for me, appearance first, come neat and come correct. Then second is that people also need to understand that the LEH is really about you. People should try to avoid information overload. Oh, ask, trying to get information like panicking, ask this person, what should I do? What should I say? Or even try to cram answers before now. You see people, watch YouTube videos and know how to answer about yourself question. And you see them cramming. And like, it's about yourself. You can't cram that. So I think that what people should understand that experience is like an half a day experience. It is meant to know about you. And it is not even about like so Toby said, they're not seeking for perfect answers. They want to live your experience. So if they ask you, for example, when you were leading a team, how did you manage conflicts when there was conflict for that team? So you want to live the experience. You won't just give us abstract. You have to think, oh, maybe for example, when I was the head of class for my department, there was an issue between two people, and I had to do this and that. That's the live experience. And again, there's now a part. I think that one is a bit dicey. Where we're going to prepare a PowerPoint presentation. You're going to be given a case study and prepare a PowerPoint presentation. It would be okay sometimes that the niche that the case study is, for example, I think for mine it was on economics, and then economics diversification, all of that. It might not be something you are very familiar with, but what one thing that you have is your critical thinking, your ability to think that okay, what makes sense? What is the layman test for intelligence? So I think that if people prioritize that. Also, another thing is not to panic. I remember that when we were leaving the assessment to where we would go to do the interview on the day of mine, people were very uptight, and I was asking them, people should chill now. What's your name? My name is Sari. Let's get to know ourselves. I mean, it's not a death sentence. Why people so seem like, oh, they're going to go and kill us? No, we are going to have conversation with some people. And I remember that I met, my current roommate now at the academy. We met that day. And we share similar thought on the fact that oh, just do yourself. I mean, this is really about ourselves. And he also got in, and we continue talking up to when we got in, and we are best of friends today at the academy. So I think that you must have self confidence that you are here. You scale through assessment, you scale through essay, and now you are here. So for you to have gotten here, I mean, you said you are bad, you are good. So you just have that confidence. Show up
Yeah.
well. It is really about yourself. Tell your story. Nobody will tell it for you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So don't panic. Just be confident. Just put your best foot forward. It's your lived experience. We're just coming to share with the people at the LEH. So it's not that deep. So next up is the video documentary stage. There was a video documentary stage at some point for some cohorts like mine. Saeed, I would like to come up again. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. What's the purpose of the video documentary in the selection process?
Okay, thank you very much. So simply, the essence of the selection of the video is now to see you. So there's a Yoruba adage that says, "Àparò kan kò jù kan lọ, àfẹ́yí tó bá gorí ebè." Yeah, I don't know how to translate that to English, but it means that a patch tree, that's Akparo, is not taller than another one, except for the one that climbs, a soil, that a heap of sand, and really. So that video is meant for you to climb and go Riebe, for you to show people that out of probably 50 people who have been shortlisted for that, for that stage, you are worth the investment. The academy is a capital investment, training for young people. It has a lot of, intensive, LBS, the African leadership, leadership seminar, your MDA, the policy trip. It's a lot of investment. So the essence of that video is now to show that you deserve that investment, that you are the kind of leaders that are looking for, that you have the value, you have the skill set, that truly you've scaled through those three stages and you've gotten here because you truly deserve it. And now you deserve a seat to be one of the 30. So it is really about you selling yourself in a very attractive way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Evelyn, you have the floor. How should candidates approach storytelling in their video? It's 2 minutes.
How should candidates approach storytelling
in their video? Yes.
Okay. So I would say, I think that is like Mr. Said had already said, it is your opportunity to sell yourself. So that story, you must be able to tell it. So how to approach it? Number one, first know that this is your most personal touch point in the entire application. So in your CBT, it is 50-50. In your interview, some things may work against you. Hopefully it doesn't. But you are with people, things could have happened, But for your video interview, you are left on your own to like sell yourself. So you own the camera, you own what you want to say. Of course, they gave you something to answer, but you own how you want to tell it. So the ball is in your court to like do with the opportunity what you will. And like it has been rightly said again by Said that putting your best foot forward is very important. So even when you are telling your story, so talk about where you have been, what you bring, and where you are going to. Very simple. Since it is you are not talking about somebody else. You're not talking about the experience of the governor. You're not talking about your mommy's experience. You're talking about you. So truthfully, I used to say something that if you're not lying, then you will not be short of words. It's when you are lying and you're trying to patch up something that, what did I say? What did I say? What did I say in my CV? Maybe you wrote something in your CV that I did not do. So you're not like, what can I say in my video to like make up for it? No. If you said what you have been doing properly, you would be able to like build on it. So, for example, during my time, I remember that I tried to like I know I was not the only one in the tech space anyway, but I tried to make my answers alongside my industry. So when I'm answering questions, whether in my essay, I remember the essay was not even like a tech inclined essay. It was about tribes and tongues and everything. But I made sure my solutions were technology inclined. So it gave me my voice, my own specific voice. And then the video. So talk about a specific moment, talk about actual examples of what piqued your interest. Talk about what you are bringing, a concrete skill you are bringing or experience that you are bringing. And then where you are going, what you aim to achieve. And then don't just read out your CV about what you have done. Don't just read it out. They already have it. So sometimes, maybe when they're even watching it, they'll be looking at your CV, they'll be listening to what you are saying to see if it is. So they already have it. And then don't say, I want to come and serve Nigeria. I want to come and serve Lagos State. Say, okay, I saw a problem X happen in this place, and I want to fix it by doing Y. It's better than saying, I want to come and serve the people, or I want to come and serve Nigeria. So be specific and don't just be too generic about the things that you say. And then most importantly, speak to the camera. I remember again that I was about to submit my video. I don't know if that video would have made it, but I was about to submit my video during my time. And I think the deadline was the next day. And I was like, I'm not submitting this video. And I've done a lot. I'd already sweated. I was doing it by myself. I'd edited it, I had done everything, but it just didn't look right to me. So I said I was going to redo it. So I slept. I decided to sleep, to be down, to calm down. And then the next day, I decided to reshoot the video. And I don't know if I had sent the previous video. It just didn't look, it was as if I was looking down at the camera or something. You're supposed to be looking at the camera, looking at the person you are talking to on the other end of the camera. Let your energy match. Let people feel your energy, because they are not talking to you, they are not able to see. Yeah. So, and then don't read off a script. It's good to have your notes, but let it show that, okay, you have the things that you are saying in your heart and you are saying it with conviction. So even if you have scripts, be able to, like, do it in a way that it doesn't show that you are reading off a script or something. So the how you edit it and how you display it is very important as to what you actually say as well. So, and I think, yeah.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Like I used to say, we all have stories to tell. Just come and tell us yours. Thank you. And if you want to read from a script, you can download a teleprompter app on your phone. So you're looking your phone as a camera, you are reading it, but gesticulate, put in those energies. So it's not like you're just reading like this, going like this. It doesn't make sense that way. All right, thank you very, very much. Mr. Michael, can you give us 1 minute of your time? What makes a video documentary stand out? Mr. Michael, are you there with us?
Okay, sorry about that. Please confirm that you can hear
Okay,
me.
thank you. Oh, loud and clear. Yes.
Okay. So, video documentary, like the name implies, documentary. So before even starting it, I mean, I just want to build on what Evelyn had said and Sahid had said. So before even starting it, you should actually know what is expected of you. You know, the reason for the video documentary is to sell yourself. So you should know that they are looking for clarity, they are looking for purpose, and they are looking for potential. For me, I feel like what makes a video documentary stand out is the clarity and authenticity, just like Evelyn has already highlighted. So you find that most people actually focus on high production quality. Some people go as far as renting camera guys and but truthfully, what they are really looking for you to show is who you are as it relates to the academy. We are not going to be telling them who you are on an unrelated topic. Everybody has participated in several things, but it relates to what you're applying for, what you have done to portray that you are a leader, you're a person of excellence, and why the LGLA is the right platform for you. So many people try to impress by editing, and some of them forget to communicate their story. I remember when I did my own video, documentary. I actually went as far back as when I was head boy in primary school, coming up to secondary school, all the things I did in uni, and while I was practicing professionally, and even the littlest things you do that portray that you're a leader. So they're also going to show the actions you took and the results, the results it yielded. So, and just like everyone already highlighted, specificity matters. Be specific. Don't just speak about leadership in general terms. You need to tailor it down to specific things that you know that you're basically selling yourself. It's not like the CBT or this is the point where you actually need to capture the viewer and tell them that yes, if there's any other person that if there's only one person that deserves to be a fellow, it should be you. So anything that you have done that portrays your leader, even the littlest thing that shows that you're a leader, as far as you're showing the actions you took and the results it yielded, I feel like the video documentary stands out. And at the end of the day, the panel is not looking for perfection, just like we already highlighted.
Yeah.
They're looking for clarity, like I said, they're looking for purpose, they're looking for potential, a person of excellence. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Michael. clarity, purpose, storytelling, a mix of all of this. Way, way, way more important than you going to hire a fancy or high-tech production jet. It's about you, let us know you as a whole, basically. Next up is alumni experience. This one we have 1 minute each, not 2 minutes. 1 minute each. So it's pretty much just rapid insights. So, Mr. Toby, I'll start with you. Just 1 minute. What's your biggest leadership lesson? As soon as you round off, just let me know. I'll go to the next person. This one's a quick fire.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So I think it's that leadership is not just about the titles, the visibility, and the access, but more about responsibility, accountability for actions and inactions. Most importantly, starting from managing yourself as a unit of a larger society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Mr. Michael, what is your most impactful LGLA experience? Meeting me, Abby.
Well, it's also impactful. So that's the thing. It's a very difficult. I'm trying to isolate one particular moment that is most impactful because the entire academy is stretched to, to deliver impact. So, but I mean, if I was supposed to particularize it to a particular moment, it would be our policy trip to Singapore. It was we had experienced what leadership is locally in our country. We had to fly out, and for me, that was the first time outside the country. Having to be in a country like Singapore, where they take policy execution, governance, and long-term planning deep into the civil service and spread into the nation and enforcement and all. Plus, I mean, the time with the fellows and sharing ideas. So it was a total. Trust me, the academy it's impactful from day one. It will stretch you. It will
Thank you.
stretch you. So, but for me, it was a policy trip.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michael. So, Miss Evelyn, real exposure in MDA. 1 minute. No, not even 1 minute. Just quick fire.
Okay, I would say for me, it is easy to condemn a system that you are not in or that you are not a part of. So I got exposures from the different MDAs that I was posted to, being able to observe decision making, attending stakeholder meetings, and most importantly, I was able to understand why public sector reform can be difficult or can be hard, and why it is actually more important. So because it's hard does makes it more important to do, not less important. So, but this posting made me understand that. So it's not just standing outside and saying that this thing is not happening or it's not fast enough or this is not happening, but I just got to understand why it is the way, and then make it much more cogent for you even be a part of, and then know the gap between policy design and on the ground reality. It exposed me to it a little. So I could go on, but there's no time. Thank you.
Quick fire. Yeah, thank you. All right. Yeah, Evelyn pretty much mentioned that being into the system helps you to see the broader scope. So, Saeed, you have the floor now. Give us a fresh perspective as a recent fellow. Quick fire. Saeed, are you still here with us? Could be network downtime. Okay. So let's move on. All right. Next up is all right. Tips for a strong application, another category. See quick fire insights. I'll mention a word. You just tell us the tips for a strong application. So, Michael Ago, authenticity. Give us tips for a strong application using the word authenticity.
Okay. So I think one of the most important things in the entire process is authenticity. They are dealing with several applications. The thousands of people, tens of thousands of people are applying for this. And trust me, your panel can easily tell when you're trying to fit a particular template or instead of being genuine. So authenticity means being honest about your journey. It means your strength, even your gaps. It also means not exaggerating your achievements. I mean, you can polish it, but don't over exaggerate it. So your story doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. That is the thing. So most people try to get perfection out of you. It wasn't necessarily perfect, but it needs to be real. It needs to be consistent because that's the only way. And
Yeah.
if you're authentic, if your story is real, if your story is consistent, your application becomes more convincing without the need to lie
Mm-hmm.
or exaggerate because not believable. So instead of trying to impress, focus on being clear and honest. What's the word? Intention and intentionality is the word.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So quick fire again, Mr. Toby, demonstrating leadership. That's your phrase
So
as a
on
tip for strong
demonstrating,
application.
yeah,
Leadership.
on demonstrating leadership, I think my advice would be that don't try to sound impressive. Just show evidence that you can lead, right? The academy is not looking for the loudest and most decorated candidates, but they are in search for fellows who have shown clear signs of, taking initiative, ownership, and problem solving. So when you are speaking about leadership, don't focus on your titles, but more about your action, right? Then another thing is don't underestimate any leadership position. So I remember during my time I spoke about leadership position situations in my family, in primary school, as an ESCO in my university. So don't underestimate any leadership position, right? You never can tell how well it can come in handy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so, so much. So, Miss Evelyn, your phrase is structuring strong responses as a tip for strong application. Quick.
So ramble, your chances are already dead. So lead with your answer and then back it up with explanation. So whether it's essay or video or interview, start with your actual points and then back it up. Don't start with rambling and expect them to follow your train of thoughts. That, yeah, follow me. Are you with me? No, don't do that. State your answers and then back it up. Also, use a public sector lens when you are talking, whether in your essay, in your video. Think broad. Don't think you may have been in the private sector for 6 years or something and you are not really like conversant with what is going on. Try to like learn of what is going on around. When you are answering your questions, answer with the lens of the public sector in mind. The people that are going to assess you, they want the good of the public sector. They are training you for the public sector at large. So frame your examples around impact and systems and not just your personal achievements. Don't be vague in your answers. Chop is important. Don't be vague. Don't just say I'm passionate, I'm hardworking or something. State what you are actually doing that shows your passion or that shows your hard work. And finally, for the written essay, if you have essay, paragraphs over list, don't list in your essays. Show that you can think. And again, I'm sorry, finally, if you have essays, start with a strong hook. Start with an intro that will not make the person reading it to drop your essay until they are done. The hook is the game. At least for me, the hook is the game. Start the hook that will keep them there and then they can follow through with the rest. So thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I think the hook is why I'm here where I am today because I remember using one badass hook back then too. I think it was around I think AFCON. It was not AFCON. So I talked about how Nigerians came in one solidarity to support Nigeria at that AFCON event. However, we are diversified back home. So that hook was like, maybe I know use that hook, I wouldn't have been here where I am today now. So the hook. All right, is Said still in the house? If he is, let me know.
Yes, I'm here now.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Said. All right, your question, a phrase. So the phrase is showing measurable impact as a tip for strong application. A quick fire. Let's have it.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So, uh, for me, I would just say that
Can you turn
I
off your
hear one of
video?
you guys say, I want to start
Okay,
hearing your
okay,
CV oh, okay. All right. So, like,
okay.
at your
Yes.
video, when you're doing your video at the early, you must be able to show measurable impact and explain. So, for example, maybe there was a time that you are the president of the student union. What exactly did you do? Not that you did a campaign. No, what is the campaign? I think we had a session where one person was telling about, but impact is not what you do. It is what now exists because you've existed. So what you did and what now exists now that you are not there anymore. So I think that applicants should be able to capitalize on what was the result they've gotten from these things that they've said they've done. You've worked there, you served there, you've held this role, but what this translated into, what was the effort of it? And that would help us know that you are a competitive candidate because you've had some impact in terms of numbers, in terms of value, and in terms of reach. So you must be able to communicate that as quickly as possible at each stage of the application. In your at LEH for the video, at the interview, you must always communicate your impact. And I think another way to do measurable impact is for yourself too. You might sit down before the video, before the LEH, and write down things that you've done and what impact, how many lives have you touched in terms of the reach, in terms of the number, so that you have a grasp of it before you start talking about them.
All right. Thank you so much for that insight. On that note, we wrap up that segment. I would like to call on our president, to come on stage to give us some thoughts before we go to the live Q&A. Please give me those fire emojis, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Areoluwa. I can actually say for a fact that this is like the most interactive webinar we've had since we started having a webinar. Normally, question and answer will come at the end of the session, but I can see the chat room has been booming and it's actually very impressive. We can see that a lot of people are actually really interested in this. So before we go into the Q&A proper where you'll be allowed to speak, I wanted to bring it to our attention that we are not alone on this call today. While on the call, I can actually see, and I'd like to acknowledge the presence of one of the staff of the academy who has graciously, decided to join us today. That's in person of Mrs. Temitope Akiyemi. She's a staff of the academy and she's with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. Also, we have another member of staff who also doubles as an alumni. So this person is the recruitment officer of the academy and also the alumni relations officer. So just so you know, we are not alone on this call. And I wanted to also mention that the discussion continues. I can see a lot of questions on if there will be follow-up after this. Yes, there will be follow-up, definitely. We have some misinformations that have been going about. We are going to be clarifying that. Something like, is it for Lagosians only? Is it for civil servants only? The answers are no. Actually, it's not for Lagosians only. You don't have to be a Lagos indigenous or even a resident of Lagos State to apply. You don't have to be a civil servant alone to apply. Civil servants can apply. Indigenous can apply. If you're from Nasarawa State, whatever state you're from, we are one Nigeria, so anyone can apply. But all of these answers will still be given to you on our social media pages, so do well to follow us. You can also, in fact, you have to follow the Academy social media page. They have two social media pages. One is the official page and the one for humans of LGLA where you activity. For more information also, the Academy has a WhatsApp channel. I think it's somewhere on the link or in the bio. You can also always follow that for more information. Let me see. I was noting something from someone's question. Well, if there's any more thing, we'll be sending it on our social media pages. We are setting up a group chat also. I think one of the admin is going to post it for follow-up so that you guys can interact with yourselves. This is the first time we're coming up with this. And we hope that beyond the application, you get to meet like minds, you get to have connection and all of that. You get to move forward from there. So let me say lastly, I want to quote my ES. The executive secretary of the academy is Mrs. Aishat Agbaje-Okunade. There's something she used to say, and which is something I've held on to for as long as I can remember, since the last time I was at the academy. She would say that in all of this that the academy is giving to you, in everything you're doing, there's something you should hold on to, that if at all you don't know the kind of leader you want to be, let's say you finish the fellowship or you're still on the verge of fellowship and you're still trying to navigate your life, if you still don't know the kind of leader you want to be after all the learnings, you should know something. End of the day, you don't know. You should always know and remember the kind of leader you do not want to be. So thank you very much. We look forward to having your questions. We look forward to you joining us on all our social media pages, WhatsApp channels, WhatsApp pages, and most importantly, we look forward to welcoming you into the OGLA family. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, my presidents. I believe most of the questions are being answers are provided to them via the chat box, I suppose. If you still have questions, you can put in the chat box and you can also raise up your hand so I can bring you forward for you to ask a question before we round off today's conversation. But I believe most of the questions have been answers are provided to them, I guess. But if you still have questions, by all means, share in the chat box. All right, I can see somebody. Okay, that's two persons now. How do I locate you? All right, Miss Moyoluwa, please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much for this
Make it quick.
opportunity.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. So please, I have two questions, sir. And I was wondering, okay, so when I started my registration, I noticed that automatically the website just picked a H that I never included. So I don't know if there's something I can do about that, or I should just ignore. Secondly, I was concerned about the referees. I don't really, if somebody can really share light on that for me, like the accountants, like the PS, I really don't get who to look for to referee me. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So the responses were provided in the chat box. So just look for the chat box. Our team will be providing answers to them. All right, you can lower your hand now. Barasimi Joy, so I've asked you to unmute. You have the floor now. We'll be taking 4 questions.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the very detailed session. My question is this. During the online application, there was a part where they asked about what you would like to do, something around an impact that you would like to work on. So I wanted to ask, because the impact that I had already started writing is nothing related to what I'm currently doing as per my skill set. It's just something different. So what is going to be your advice in that regard? That's during application. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Darasimi Joy. All right, Nureni Abi, you have the floor.
Right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And kudos to all the panelists. You have all spoken well, and we are really proud of being this. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So really appreciate this webinar. It's really thoughtful and very educative and very informational. So thank you very much once again. Now, my question here is that I think the most important stage for any other stage is the assessment stage, which is the CBT exam. Because if you don't pass that CBT stage, you can't actually further for any other stages. So my question is that from all whatever that I've spoken and the questions people have asked, I want to ask that please, do we have a past question we can actually study for the CBT exam?
All right, thank you very much. So look forward in the chat box and follow us on social media. The frequently asked questions will be addressed there as well. So just look forward to these platforms. All right, thank you very much for joining us, Abib. Thank you. Another question? Anybody want? Okay, I can still see one hand. Okay, no, Abib, that's you. All right. All right. So just look forward to the chat box. Look forward to the social media pages. All right. The last person, Mr. Bawali, you have the floor. Mr. Bawali, you have the floor. You can share now. You can lower your hand and share. Share your thoughts. Okay. So let's go to Matthew. That'll be the last person. Matthew, you can ask a question right now.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir, and good evening to the executive of
Good
the
evening.
Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy. First, I would like to appreciate the moderator, Mr. Aurelua. Thank you so much for moderating such a beautiful session. I would also like to appreciate the president of the Alumni Association, that's Mrs. Balugmawe, Mrs. Adwikbeju. Thank you so much, and to everyone. But I just wanted to ask the part where you have to probably leave your job to be able to focus on the academy. So what should be the process? Would you be given a time span? Because, for some of us that work, if you're probably accepted into the academy, if you work in a corporate space, you need probably a 1 month notice to give to your employer, such that you won't be available for work or any other thing. So is there a time span where you know when you're going to be accepted into the academy, such that you'll be able to, reach out to your employers and let them know when you will not be available for work? And what are the chances as well after the academy? Is it an automatic recruitment into the public sector, or after the academy you just have to figure out yourself, your life yourself? So that's just the question I would like to ask. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Interesting questions. Just check the chat box. Okay, yes. Your response are provided. Yes, you'll be given a notice period. And that should address that. I think this second question you asked will also be catered to in the chat box or on our social media pages. So on that note, I'd like to call on Mr. Charles to give us a vote of thanks and closing. Thank you. Give me those fire emojis, guys. Thank you very much. Fire emojis, fire emojis. Where are they? Where are they? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mr. Charles, you have the floor, sir.
Sorry, how are we going to answer the question they asked?
Okay, the answers will be provided via the social media pages. That's one. And also using the chat box, you can type it into the chat box. Just similarly the way they were asking questions, I will provide the answers. So you can just use the chat box to provide answers too.
Okay, before Charles comes on, I don't know why it's not on yet. Please, we have Ms. Temitope Akemi from the Academy. She would like to speak. And also, I would like us to give some answers to their questions. Since we have them now, then the rest of the answers can be gotten from the pages. So, Ms. Akemi, yes, please come on board, ma.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I think all speakers have spoken very well. So I'll just do like general talks. I don't have anything particularly planned. I think I was able to pick something, particularly with Said's, what the conversation Said had or the questions they had was that when you come in for once you've passed CBT and moving to the next stage and all of that, especially with early age, the most important thing that we look out for is actually confidence. how you come into the room, how you show up. That's the most important thing. And that also cuts across how you do your video as well. If you get to the point of video, it's also the confidence that you show. That's what we're looking at. I know someone had also asked during this question and answer session about who the accounting officer is or what reference exactly. For Lagos State civil servants, you're supposed to get, well, while you're doing the application, just the application stage of the form, all you have to do is just to fill in their details. And then what you have is two references. You fill in the details of your head of department and also your accounting officer, who is the head of your MDA. It can be your PS. It should be your PS actually, not your commissioner or special advisor. So it should be your PS. But all you're doing now, you don't need them to write a reference for you at the moment. You don't need them to write an expression of interest for you at the moment as a civil servant. All you need at the moment is just to write their details in the form and submit. I think that's it for. So let me see, for stage by stage, for the first application, I would advise that I know that for most of the applications we've gotten at the moment, most people have just signed up. They've not necessarily completed their applications. So I'll just encourage everyone, if you're on this call and you've not completed your application, please do so. The gap is really wide between people who have registered and people who have actually submitted. If you've not submitted, you don't have a fair chance, right? So you need to finish your application and submit. Again, just as our moderator has said, if you're having any issues or anything like that, there was a post on social media about the platforms that you can use, the email that you can send to, also the DMs on social media. You can also call as well. We have a team that is ready to assist you, right? You even have two teams ready to assist you if you're having any issues. Also, once CBT is done, so I know there was also the question of virtual or physical. You pick the one that best suits you. We've also tried to make things easier this year so that most people don't have technical issues and things like that. So even for last year, normally there was supposed to be no essay stage. But then because we don't have a cutoff mark every year, the cutoff mark is based on how well people do. We saw that a lot of people did well. And then for them to move to the next stage, we needed to do like another stage. So we might still maintain the essay for this year. We might not maintain the essay for this year. It depends on how well CBT is. But then just a general thing, start your application. You lose nothing by starting, you lose nothing by submitting. I know there's also going to be a mock. The mock test for CBT is not the main exam, definitely. It's just to see that you don't have issues. It's just to see that you're able to start and complete your exam so that we know that you won't face issues. And then also, if people face issues, we're able to sort it out before the main CBT date. I think that's it for now. I just want to wish everybody all the best. Truly, again, it's based on merits. You won't know anybody to come in. So it's just to also put your best foot forward and just give your best. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, my leader, Mrs. City. Thank you very much. On that note, I think some people still want to, react to the questions. I think someone texted me and asked that, oh, okay, they want to provide answers to questions. So I think we could still give some of the speakers to address some of those questions before we end the conversation. So, Miss Evelyn, Mr. Michael, Mr. Said, yeah, Mr. Said was even asking earlier. Mr. Toby, if you could still recall some of those questions, you could get on the floor and share your insights. Thank you.
I really can't remember the questions. I don't know. If maybe you can take them. I can't remember.
Said, can you hear us?
Okay, there was someone that asked about the impact. I don't know if I can just talk a bit on that. That there was a field for what you would want to do.
Yes, yes. The person said that their current field and like where they work and the impact they've made are two different places. That how should they then tell their story or something like that?
Yeah, I think the question was that something that you would like to create, something I would like to do. And what she wrote was not exactly the field that she is currently in. I would say personally that if the impact is, even if it is not based on your current skill sets, but it is a public sector focused impact, it's a social impact, it is something that would benefit your local and your wider community, it will still fly. I don't know exactly what you wrote and if it would be like a direct opposite of what you claim to be doing. So maybe that's your fear. But if it is not, if it is something that, okay, it's just different, then yes, we do different things. There are many things, there are some of the things that we even do while in the fellowship as the community project that is not based on our previous skill sets. But like Said said in one of his answers, that is your critical thinking that is necessary. Or maybe Dr. Toby, the ability to be able to make something out of nothing, take initiative. So even if it is not based on your current job that you do, as long as it has an impact, social impact, or on in the states or your wider community, I think it will still work. Yeah.
All right. So can I add to that? And there
Yes,
was also a
please. Yes,
question
please.
in there. Yes, I also like to add that impact. Most of the time, people see impact as something around NGO, community development. Impact could actually be in your workspace too. It might be that you've been part of an ambition. So I think I have one of my friends who's currently at the academy now. He has not really done NGO stuff, but impact at his workspace. He has done part of a financial project to act for people to access digital marketing or financial services in local communities, USSD and all of that. So he has done a lot of things in the tech and financial space for common good for the public. And so it's really how you've done good things for the sake of humanity. That's what really impact is. It might be in the course of your work, it might be in the course of something else that you're passionate with that is not directly your work. It means that you can work in a bank and volunteer for a blood drive initiative, something. So it is really depends on how you tell the story. And there's a question in the chat box that says that I applied for Lateef Jakande. So they're saying that they got to the early age stage, and the person is asking that what exactly are they looking for at this stage. I think that we've talked about the fact that at this stage, all of the assessment, the PowerPoint, the interview, what they each stage wants to show is that you are competitive, you are worth the investment, and you are the kind of leaders they want to. The academy is open to train. I'm very sure if the assessment happens and just 30 people had good score, the application probably might end there. But because we need to continue to filter from maybe 12 or 20,000 to 30, so it means that the process needs to continue. So each process is just for you to continue to show up excellently. Yeah, that's the best way. You don't have to overthink it. Just give your best at each stage.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Said, for the thoughts and insights. Mr. Michael, Dr. Toby, do you want to share more insights as well? Okay, I think they are currently not in the house currently. Okay, Mr. President, do you mind sharing some thoughts before I call on Mr. Charles to give us the vote of thanks?
For me, I think I've said basically everything that needs to be said at this time. And like I said, if there's any more information, we'll be sharing it on the group chat, on the social media pages, and all of that. So for now, there's really nothing else to share.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam President. On that note, I'd like to call on Mr. Charles to give us a vote of thanks as we bring today's conversation to a close. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ore. Thank you very much. I am really glad being on this call. It's over an hour already, but then it has been a very insightful one for me too. Better is the end of a thing than its beginning thereof. So, it's really been a good one. Thank you very much, Mr. Ore. Thank you very much, Michael for Shaw, Dr. Toby, Evelyn, and all of our speakers. I really want to sincerely appreciate you for doing a yeoman job. You've really done justice to all their questions, and we cannot but appreciate you for your effort. I also want to commend Madam Tebitokwe, the PRO, for joining. She not only joined, she answered some of the questions. Even in the chat box, I saw some of her answers. Thank you very much, Madam Temitope. I also want to thank Madam President from, bringing up this initiative, and it's really been a good one. So thank you very much, Madam President. And lastly, I want to thank all the prospective fellows, because all of you at this stage, all of you are shown prospects by joining this call, and we are really appreciative. I cannot but just say, we're already looking forward to seeing you in the academy, but first and most importantly, we are looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday at LLS. Thank you very much. Over to you, Ore.
On that note, Orolu Afulayan here, signing out. See you guys, all the very best. Rooting for you. The fire emojis, guys.